I being punished for a man with dementia that can't stop showing his pee-pee to everybody. Hello fairies and friends, welcome back to my channel. Today is a very rainy day in DC. It's very ugly outside, so I'm just cozy, comfy in my house with my water and a wine glass. So today's video will be my first official episode of water in a wine glass, basically an analogy for my life. You know how Jesus turned water into wine? I'm the water right now. I'm the water, and God is, you know, putting me through some trials, teaching me some lessons until I can turn into fine wine. And am I God's strongest soldier? I have to be. I have to be. After the year that I had, oh man, I have to be. So what is water in a wine glass for real? Let's get into it so you could understand what it means to me and what it should mean to you. So water in a wine glass, like I said, I am the water. I have a great foundation. I have great values. I have values, my mannerisms, a sparkling, twinkling personality. And I feel like I'm a good person, and that's just it. I have a great foundation. The wine glass, though, is basically the life I'm curating for myself. I'm a little bit bougie, just a little bit. I'm a little bit bougie, and I like the nicer things in life, and I am no dingy coffee mug. I don't even like coffee. I'm a wine glass. This is my life. My life is the wine glass. I have made sure that I surround myself with beautiful and nice things that I like. I have moved out of my hometown. I am in Washington, DC. DC proper, by the way. Nothing wrong with Maryland or Virginia, but we are in DC. I have a great start to my career, just graduated. I got 3 degrees basically. Yeah, bachelor's, master's, certificate, all of that. It's on my wall actually, if you can look, if you can see it. I am a first generation student that's just trying to break generational curses, and while I do that, I would like to like the look of my life. What? As I am doing all of that, I like to surround myself with nice things. I wanted to turn it into a series. I've had this idea for a few years now, and I held it near and dear to my heart because life is always lifing. Always lifing. And I was like, when life slows down, I'll fully have time to just reflect and do the things that I need to do and finally feel comfortable enough to share my life. That did not happen. Over the last 2 years, I was just making excuses. I'm not ready to share my life yet because I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. But now I've decided to rip the band-aid off. I think there's a higher purpose to water in a wine glass. Honestly, selfishly, it's for me to reflect and release all of the things that I have gone through. And then purpose, I hope you guys could relate. I hope you guys could find some gems in here that help you navigate your life and also just connect with me and my twinkling personality. Water in a wine glass is my journey to being fine wine, and cheers to that. You know what's crazy? There used to be like a period of time in college when I would only drink water in a wine glass. So it's like I manifested this. I manifested it. This episode of Water in a Wine Glass, we will be discussing the chaos of my 24th year on this earth. Absolute chaos. So the first segment of Water in a Wine Glass is going to be, how did the plot thicken? Basically where I tell you all the things that happened to give you a little bit of context before we reflect. So my life is a dramatic comedy. There's so many real things that happen to me, but I just have to laugh at it because there's just like, how did we get here? Let's start it out. How did the plot thicken? So let's start with summer 21, all right? This was like the first summer post-COVID, even though it wasn't really post-COVID because people are still sick. We are still in the midst of COVID. But we was outside. That's when I graduated. That's when I really got a little taste of freedom. So it was club, another club, bus, brunch, party, another club, party, brunch, club. A lot of stuff happened. Don't get me wrong, it was a lot of fun, but I was drunk all the time. All the time. So I just kept getting sick. Even when I turned 24, because that's where the things started to go downhill. Don't get me wrong, my 24th birthday was lit. I had a great old time, and then things started just going downhill. I got sick. When I say sick, I just mean like a cold that lasts like up to 2 weeks. Let's say up to 2 weeks, but that was happening monthly. Went home, made new friends that I'm actually not really friends with anymore, but that's a story for another day. Yeah, I just had a really toxic relationship with tequila. And also another thing that was just detrimental, I was just not scared of getting COVID. Like, I was outside doing the absolute most because I was like, I have my freedom. I'm outside of school. I don't got school no more. Ciao. Ciao. After being sick almost every single month, my tonsils were disgustingly inflated. Needed to come out. Yeah, scheduled surgery. Mind you, this is my first surgery ever. And normally, getting your tonsils removed at 24 years old is very late in life. I just want y'all to know that. So, surgery rolls around in September, my surgery date. When I get there, tested positive for COVID. I was so upset. Y'all don't understand. I was ready, and I had to grieve the loss of multiple piercings. That may sound like a first world problem, but I was a girl. I had many piercings and I lost 6 that day. 6! Had to deal with COVID. I rescheduled the surgery. I rescheduled it for December. From September to December, I met my current boyfriend, which is a good thing that happened. And he actually helped me throughout the process. Or of course, we were dating. And then when I got my tonsils removed, he helped me through the process, which honestly, kudos to him, because the one thing that they do not tell you about getting your tonsils removed is how bad your breath smells. Oh, child, I was gagging smelling my own breath. And I don't know if you understand what that meant. If I left a room that I was sitting in for a while, because you know, you don't smell it anymore. If I come back into the room, oh, it was so bad. It's so bad. Like, oh, gross. Also, very, very painful. Very painful. So yeah, got my tonsils removed in December. Mind you, that's when like my job first started. I got a fellowship, so that's when my fellowship first started. So a month in of getting this new little insurance, already using it for a procedure. Ciao. I made it official with my boyfriend on New Year's, which was fun, real cute. And I was like, you know, just January, let me get active. He's a personal trainer, so you know, he made a little fitness plan for me. I'm trying to get active. And this fitness plan was burpees, which is fine, normal. Until I'm doing burpees and I'm throwing up for 3-4 hours straight. And in the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. So I'm crying on the phone. I called my best friend and I was like, I need help. I need to go to the hospital. I need to go right now. He takes me to the hospital. We get there around like 6, 7, right? I don't see a doctor until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Mind you, the worst pain in my life, all that stuff. They end up telling me that I had sludge in my gallbladder. They don't really know what caused the pain, but that I should just probably like eat better. Just eat better. I was like, wow, okay. That doesn't really help me much, but okay. About 3 weeks-ish later, Valentine's Day rolls around. Real cute, did something with my boyfriend. I had a Valentine's Day dinner with my best friend. And you know, I was like, I'm eating better. I'm gonna get the salmon. I'm gonna get a broccolini. I don't know what other side that I had. But I was like, fine. Get home. Throwing up my guts for hours. And I was like, I have to go to the hospital. I have to go to the hospital. I did not return to that first hospital because even the nurse there was like, why did you come here? Because it's the closest way. That's why I came. How was I supposed to know? So I went to the hospital on the other side of town, and they're really good. I mean, if you're in the DC area, Sibley is a great hospital. Go to Sibley. I don't know about the other ones, but go to Sibley. So I was like in the worst pain because it's like a 30-minute-ish drive for me. So worst pain of my life. Ended up staying there for 3 days. Found out I had gallstones and I was passing a stone. I was passing a stone, and that is the worst pain I've ever been in my life. Even morphine wasn't helping. Like the morphine, I could feel it through my body, but I could still feel that twisting pain of having a stone being passed. And also, I couldn't get a surgery to get my gallbladder removed because the stone that was being passed made my pancreas inflame, and I had pancreatitis. Love it. So what they tell me, obviously I have gallstones, I'm gonna have to get my gallbladder removed, and I can't eat fats, dairy, or meat. Basically, I had to go vegan overnight. Vegan overnight. And you're telling that to a Haitian when all of our foods are based around meat. Yup. So go vegan or try my best. I had a lot of pain with it because like I was learning how to do stuff with the substitute meats and then dealing with all the sodium that's in that and eating that too much, and oh chow, it was a hot mess. So we scheduled my surgery for May, right? This is still February-ish. Fast forward a little bit, I go to Coachella in April. That was really fun. I was vegan there too, which the vegan options weren't bad at Coachella. They were actually pretty good. Like their little burgers, I don't even know what it was called, but the burgers was real good. And yeah, I did fine. Honestly, minimal pain while I was at Coachella. I mean, aside from standing all day, because my feet were burning. So then, what happened next? Oh, I missed the biggest part. So before Coachella, in the months between February and April, one of my neighbors a few doors down, old man, right? I've never seen him a day in my life, the 2 years that I've been living in this building. First time I see him, he's standing in his doorway, butt booty ass naked. At first, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I just passed by and he's giving this weird smile like this. And I was just like, what the hell just happened? I was like, maybe this is on his, like, his bucket list of some sort, because I've never seen him. I just laughed it off. I brushed it off because I was like, what the heck? Then it started becoming a pattern. And it happened a handful of times. I told my management and they were like, next time it happens, call the police. The next time it happened, the day after I called the police, because like even police officers, they give me anxiety. Like I don't like that. So I had to make the police report, which, I mean, I did it. Didn't like doing it, but it happened. And I was like, so what are y'all gonna do about him? Management ends up telling me he has dementia. My mom telling her the situation, she was like, Vanya, he's sick, like, you don't mean you mad, but at the same time, this is my safety. This is my safety. If the man has dementia and he's standing in the hallway, what if one day he just jumps at me? What if one day he starts humping my leg? I don't know. So it's like I started having like real bad anxiety leaving my house, because it would happen literally. He would hear the keys like jingle, have his door ready, and I could even see the door crack sometimes. So it's like I started to have to go all the way around, which makes no sense because I'm 2 doors away from the elevator. So I would have to go all the way around, and I was just like, this is just becoming really inconvenient. The anxiety was just really bad leaving my house. I hated it. So not only am I dealing with all these health issues, I have to deal with him too. So I was like, what are y'all gonna do about him? Because obviously if he has dementia, he shouldn't be here alone. Where is his case manager? Who is supporting him? Where's his family? Like, what the heck is happening? something's got to give. And she was like, well, we're trying to call his case manager and they're not really responding, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, so kick him out. Like, I don't know. And she's like, well, can't technically do that because they would have to have a court override it because he's in a government program that keeps him here. Sorry to put too much of his business out there. Sorry. But it's my business too. She was like, you can move. And the only apartments that were available were way more than what I was paying for rent. And then the one that was the same unit size, like she was like, well, you could just switch units on a different floor or whatever. It was smaller than the studio that I had. So I was like, why am I being punished for a man with dementia that can't stop showing his pee-pee to everybody? And apparently it wasn't only me and like on that floor who was having to deal with this BS. I was dealing with that up until my birthday. I mean, they came and got him. I think it was before Coachella. So I was still anxious leaving the house because I didn't know when he was gonna return, if he was gonna return. I was just like, what are you guys gonna do to get me out of here? I need to go. Then fast forward to May, when I actually got my gallbladder removed. I go from never having surgery in my life to 2 procedures in less than 6 months. What? And I was back to work literally a week later. I probably should have taken a little bit more time, but I was fine for the most part. I started in a new office because my fellowship allows us to rotate. And I was just like, okay, this is a fresh start. I'm turning 25 soon. I'll be okay. And right 3 days before my birthday is when they're like, oh yeah, you can move to this different unit. I'm leaving town in 4 days. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I moved my whole entire apartment in 2 days because she didn't tell me until after 5 o'clock on that. It was a mess, child. It was a mess. I'm 25 now, but all that happened in year 24. Very, 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 very chaotic. It was a lot to deal with. And mind you, I'm only telling you guys 50% of the whole entire story because I was also dealing with other stuff that are happening to other people that I care about. So, but it's not my place to tell their business. But it's like all these different things were just hitting me from different directions. And I'm just like, when is life gonna stop lifing? When is it gonna stop lifing? So that's how the plot thickened. It thickened a lot. It's thicker than 16 bowls of oatmeal served to the thickest girl on the East Coast that got it all from her mama. And her mama got, you know, the little fat over the elbow. That's how thick the plot is from this year of my life. Mind you, all the other 23 years of my life have been very special. Let's say special. So after reflecting of all the things that happened, I was just learning how destructive I was to myself at first. Not necessarily taking care of my body. I don't know what I was escaping, but I was escaping something. I mean, I do know what I was escaping, but that's again another story for another day. I also felt like I just wasn't doing enough as the person that is breaking through barriers all the time. It's just like, I feel like I should be 20 steps ahead of where I am now, but it's just like, calm down, Fania. You're doing everything right. You're doing well. But it's like, all I kept doing was thinking about the bad. I was just thinking about the bad, and I just didn't want any more bad to happen. So I just like stopped. I was giving the bare minimum every single day. I was just doing enough for me to survive to get to the next day. And I felt like I was boxing myself in. I was losing a little bit of that charisma that I have, that I normally have. And it just didn't feel good. I was sad. Let me just flat out say it. I was sad. So all the things that I just wanted to do, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. It was a lot. This year was a lot to handle. And with saying all that, today's sip of wisdom is to know when to release all of the bad. And this is what I'm doing with this series. I am releasing all of the bad, all of the things that I just told you guys. I don't want to harbor onto all of those negative emotions anymore. It's because like I wasn't growing anymore. I wasn't growing anymore. I was stagnant. I was stuck. And I kept trying to do these things to try to like push me to, or catapult me into growth, but that was not going to happen until I released all the bad, until I released this fear. Even right now recording this, I am nervous. My armpits are sweating, my coochie is sweating. I am nervous. I'm nervous because I am being vulnerable. I am allowing myself to take steps forward. I am terrified of what can come out of this. I think about all the bad stuff, but then I realize that I'm not thinking about any of the good. All of the good that can come out of me sharing my story, sharing my lessons, and relating and connecting to anyone out there that's in their 20s, just dealing with things back to back to back to back. I know how it feels when you just like, you're trying to get over one situation and you have to try to get over a second situation that's hitting you from left field, and you're like, I can't handle all this. You think you're over the thing that happened beforehand because you're trying to deal with the thing that's happening to you now. You're not. But what I want to say is like, it's okay to feel all of your feelings. Feel it. But you have to know when to release those feelings so you can keep growing. I was in my comfort zone and I wasn't doing what I wanted to do, what I have a vision for myself to do, because I was just scared. I was being led by fear, and I just don't want that anymore. With that being said, in the essence of releasing everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the happy, the sad, I am doing Vlogmas! Woo, 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 woo. Over the whole entire year 24, I have vlogged almost all of it, but I just never had the heart to edit it, post it while I was going through all of those things. So now I do, as I have healed, woo, or in the midst of healing, woo. I will be sharing all of those vlogs over the last year, all of the events that took place that I just talked about, in chronological order. So this week we'll get to my 23rd birthday, my tonsillectomy fail, hanging out with some friends like in November, like in that middle time, I guess you can say, my actual tonsillectomy, and then we will do another episode of Water in a Wine Glass. So the second episode of Water in a Wine Glass will be my official DC update. So stay tuned for that. And I think for Vlogmas, I will be doing like current vlogs as well. But we'll see. We will see. It's going to be in chronological order, so you could really connect with my story and understand the story and step by step of what was happening. And then in the new year, we will start brand new. I just want to release all these things to feel like all the work that I put in, even though I just started it and I never finished it, this is my time to finish it. And I just want it all off so I could feel weightless again and not feel like I held myself back for another year. If you want to stay updated with Vlogmas, you know you gotta subscribe, join the family of fairies and friends, follow me on social media because I will be posting about it as well. And so it's gonna be an exciting Vlogmas. It's definitely different from what the girls is doing. I know the girls normally vlog every single day, post that, or have like, you know, curated videos for the whole entire month. I'm just giving y'all what I already got, and that's as much as I can give y'all. So woo, kudos to me. So like I said, I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys stay tuned. I would love for you guys to connect with me more. And yeah, that's it. Continue being great. Bye. I will never, 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 never let you go before I go.